Hi everyone, I am getting ready for my best friend's baby shower and I have made some DIY baby shower bingo cards. So in this video I'm going to show you how I've made it. So I'm going to start off with all the materials that you need to make the bingo card, and then I'm going to do some step-by-step to show you how I put it together. So I have all the materials laid out here, and I'm just going to show you one by one all the things that I used. So the first thing that I have here is a ruler. I like using a see-through one so that I can see along my measuring board, which I'll show you, to make sure I'm getting a straight cut for my cardstock. The next thing that I have is a Sharpie. This is just a permanent black one. It is the fine tip. So that's what I used for the bingo and also for the grid. The next thing that you'll need is a pencil. I prefer using the mechanical ones. You'll also need something to glue everything together, and my choice is the Permanent Bond Glue Runner glue tape, which you saw in one of my haul videos. The next thing that I used for the little airplane here is just this craft thread that you'll remember when you were younger, if you were the same generation as me, that you use this to make friendship bracelets. The ribbon that I used here is from Michaels, and it is just the craft ribbon, and you'll also notice behind there that I have some nail polish, and it's the clear nail polish, and what I used the nail polish for is so that the edges didn't fray. So you'll notice here on the cuts, everything looks nice and straight and there's no frayed marks, and that's because I used this clear nail polish on the edges so that it wouldn't fray. And that's just a little piece that I used to dry the ribbon pieces on. And now I'm going to show you the cardstock I used. So the cardstock that I used is all from Michaels when I bought during that big sale they had. And I'm using 4 different colors. The first is a really deep red color, and the number of this red one is 99238. And again, just a nice deep red. The second color that I'm using is a navy blue color. The color for this one is 98106, and it's just a dark navy blue. The third color here is a teal, and this teal color is 98401, and it's kind of a dark teal. And the last one is just a plain white, and the color on that one is 99253. So again, all of the cardstock is from Michaels. Now what you see underneath it is what I use for all of my measurements. And this is just a regular board. It's a thick plastic so that you can cut on it with an X-Acto knife if you'd like to, but I just use it for all of my measurements. And what I'll do is I'm going to show you all the pieces that I cut out and what measurements they are. So I have laid out all of the pieces that you will need to make the bingo card. I'm going to go over all the measurements in a minute, but you can see, of course, they're from largest to smallest. And I also have another strip of white, which is what I used for the little bingo flag in the background there. And again, I'll also show you the ribbon that I cut as well. But the airplanes on this are in groups of 2, so there's 3 different cuts that I would have made for the card, so each in the groups of 2 together, keeping them at a similar size. So I'm just coming in a bit closer for each individual piece. You can see my board is in inches, and this first navy blue piece is a 6-inch by 4.5 inch. Moving on to the teal piece, we have a 5.5 inch by a 4 inch. The red piece is a perfect square 3.5 by 3.5. And the white piece is also a perfect square, a 3 by 3. Now for the flag piece, I started off with a long strip that was left over, and you can see here it is a 3/4 inch. So I marked the little strip at the 2-inch mark, and then I went in a little bit there, you can see, and I cut out the flag on the end. And the last piece that we need is the ribbon here, and you can see the measurement for that small piece. In addition, I also cut 2 pieces of the craft thread in 1.5 inch pieces. And now it's time to assemble. So we have all of the pieces laid out, and like I said before, what I used on the ribbon so that it didn't fray was some clear nail polish. And how you do that is you take the little piece of ribbon and you want to put the nail polish just on the back along the entire edge, both sides, and then just lay it on a scrap piece to dry, and then your edges won't fray on you. So to assemble, I'm going to use my permanent bond glue runner, and I'm going to start with the 2 base pieces here. So I'm just going to put some glue tape onto the back, and you want to get it close to the edges so that way it's not going to lift up. It's also nice because you're doing a few layers of cardstock, so it will be a bit thicker when people are writing on it for the bingo. So you can use your board, or if you don't have a board, you can just eye it. But if you put it in a spot where you can see, then you're just going to line everything up, because you know that you've gone in 1/2 inch for this, so you want to go in 1/4 inch on all of the sides. Now once it's down, you just want to press all of the edges, and we'll move on to the next piece. So with your red piece, again, now you want to check and see and make sure that you don't have any pencil marks on it. When I was measuring out my large cardstock and marking everything off, I used a pencil. So on the one side, there might be a little bit of sheen from that pencil mark, so I always just check. So this, again, is going to go as the next layer for the bingo card. Now this one, I have just put up a little bit more than the 1/4 inch, and you can just eye this where you like it. So then there is your red piece on. Now before we put the white piece on, we're actually going to put the lines for the bingo on it. So we need our white paper, our ruler, and our Sharpie, and what I'm going to do is mark the lines at 1 inch increments. So using my grid, I'm going to mark horizontal and vertical lines. And then lining up the last line. And there you have the grid for the bingo. Now, I know it's not the traditional bingo where you have the extra squares, but I found that when you have a really large bingo card, it's hard to fill everything in. It takes a lot of time for people to decide what the squares are going to be, because it is kind of nice to let people decide what they're going to fill in for each of the possible presents. So that's why I did just 9 this time. So now we just have to glue this one on as the next piece. On the white paper especially, the lines are more evident from when I did the measuring for each square. You can see on the back there's a bit of pencil. You can always take it off if you'd like. You won't see through it, just make sure you use the right side. So again, I'm going to put this one right here in the middle. These ones are perfect squares, so you just want equal amounts of cardstock on each side. And then there we have an almost completed card so far. So the last part's the most finicky part. You want to start by taking your ribbon, and then you're going to do a cut to cut out 2 of the airplanes. And then I'm going to cut the little bit of excess off the front. And then I'll show you how I do the nail polish to make sure that the edges don't fray. So we're going to take our clear nail polish. Now if you look really closely on this, I don't know if you can pick it up, but on the edge right here, it looks like it would fray if I didn't coat it. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to take the clear nail polish, and along the back of the ribbon, I'm just going to apply a coat of the clear nail polish. And I'm going to turn it to the other side and then do the same thing. And it doesn't matter which type you use. And then you're just going to put it on your little thing to dry. So now that it has dried, the edges are nice and crisp there, and it will not fray when you put it on the bingo card. So using your fine tip black Sharpie, you're going to write bingo on the banner here and just kind of eyeball it. And there we have the little banner done. So to attach the thread to the back of the bingo banner and the airplanes, I'm going to use some more glue tape. So you just want to turn them both over and decide how far apart you'd like to have them. I like a half an inch space, so I just use my board to kind of eyeball that. So I'm going to put glue tape on the banner and onto the ribbon here. Again, just that permanent bond one. It doesn't matter if you have extra because it's going to need the glue to go onto the bingo card eventually. And then you just want to take your pieces and you want to lay them on the banner. So I'm just laying them right into the glue tape that I put on there. And you really can space them out how you'd like. I have them like that. And then using my board, which will tell me where the ½ inch is, I'm going to then attach right onto the ribbon. And then when I turn that over, you will see that it is attached with the banner. Next step is just to put glue tape over the entire thing, and we're going to attach it onto the bingo card. So now the entire back of the ribbon and the banner is covered in the permanent glue tape. You go right over top of the little strands, that way they'll stay down. And let's attach it to our bingo card. So you just want to eyeball it where you think it looks best, and I kind of like to pull it quite tight here. I think my hand's in the way. I'm going to do it this way. So I kind of like to have it down and not quite pushed down yet, so then I can pull the string tight there. And then you want to push everything down. And there we have the completed card. So they're going to look quite uniform, but they'll all look a little bit different. And basically what you do is you want to have one for every single guest at the party. So how the game works is you hand out a bingo card to each person at the party while the guest of honor, the mom, is opening up her presents. Now you can either fill these in before, or you can hand out pencils and let the guests fill in what they think she might get. As she opens her presents, you will mark off your squares that you have correct, and the first person to get bingo will win a prize. Now you could make the bingo the entire card, just a row, and you can have as many squares as you like. This is a great game to keep everyone occupied, as opening presents can take quite a while depending on how big your shower is. I hope you enjoyed this game and have a great day.